Hello class, this is a recent immigrants project by Abigail Zuniga, Edgar Hercila, Samantha Melgoza, and Kassandra Chavez. Statement of the problem. California has 10.5 million foreign residents. It has the most immigrants in comparison to the other 49 states. In actuality, it comprises 23% of all residents who are born abroad. According to data from the Center of Migration Studies, 78% of immigrants in California were either naturalized or had another type of legal status, while 22% were undocumented. Unfortunately, poverty is a significant problem that is brought up by the lack of information on this underrepresented group. The Public Policy Institute of California estimates the poverty rate among legal immigrants was 16.1%, as opposed to 25.1% in undocumented. This is a significant difference from the 10% poverty rates among Americans who were born in the country. This is a result of inadequate funding for government programs, resources, and legal protections. Data and studies on the affected group and area. Surprisingly, there was 28 million foreign-born workers in the labor force in 2021. That was 17% of the total workforce, but that is not considering the millions of undocumented immigrants that are still part of the underground labor market. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, compared to their native-born peers, who earned $941 per week, full-time foreign-born workers made an average of $800 per week. Even among job occupations, you can see the disparity of immigrant workers versus U.S.-born. Foreign-born workers were more likely than native-born workers to be employed in service occupations, natural resources, construction, maintenance, production, and transportation, while they were less likely than native-born workers to be employed in management, professional, and in sales or office occupations. Policy number 1, Immigration Reform and Government Aid. There are only 6 options for someone who was born abroad to obtain legal residency in the U.S. These immigration rules are very restrictive and limiting, as you can see. This can become problematic when there are an estimated 2 million undocumented immigrants in California alone. Nearly a quarter of the nation's undocumented immigrants reside in California, where they constitute more than 6% of the state's population. Since January 2016, Californians have been asked 4 times as a part of the PPIC, Public Policy Institute of California, statewide survey whether there should be a way for undocumented immigrants to stay in the country legally if certain requirements are met. This proposal has received at least 82% support each time. In January 2017, 65% of adults agreed that California state and local governments should create their own policies and take independent measures to safeguard the legal rights of undocumented immigrants in the state. Policy number 1, outcome. If there is an immigration reform, it would change the lives of millions of undocumented families in California. But why would it be beneficial to them? According to the PRC, there are already 1.75 million undocumented foreign workers working in California. Despite not being listed among the civilian labor force, this group still accounts for a sizable percentage of those who pay federal and state income taxes. In addition to this, people without legal status receive little to no government help than those who do. As a result, opening a path to citizenship and permanent residency would allow the undocumented already in U.S. soil to become eligible for government assistance programs and gain employment authorization in the United States. Policy number 2, breaking down language barriers. First and second generation individuals comprise 28% of all students enrolled in higher education, a growing figure that underscores the importance of immigrant origin students in the classroom and our workforce. Campuses like LBCC make educational strides to integrate immigrants into the educational system with free classes. International students at U.S. colleges and universities contribute $33.8 billion into the U.S. economy, and for every 3 international students, 1 U.S. job is created. Recommendations for policy number 2 outcome. In late 2001, California Assembly Bill 540 was signed into law, allowing undocumented students living in California to access in-state tuition. Subsequent bills followed, expanding undocumented eligibility. ESL course credit varies from college to college. Not all assign the same credit or college credit at all. This undercuts an English learner's likelihood of enrolling or completing college. Seeing the employment value and long-term economic contributions immigrants can gain from English proficiently, the recommendation goes as followed. Implementing AB 705, which distinguishes ESL from remediation in English and allows ESL courses transferable for general education and college credit. Policy number 3, career and education development and outcome. The best way for someone to escape poverty is to further their education and improve their chances of becoming a high-income earner. But immigrants are more likely to fall short when it comes to the educational attainments than native-born Americans. Because of this, there are many different methods to approach this policy on career and educational development. The first is to allocate resources to underfunded schools in order to support additional efforts for integrating immigrant students. With the aid of these resources, immigrants will be able to improve their language skills, be exposed to more diversity, and have more opportunities for higher education that will benefit their future careers. Lastly, establishing workforce protections against unfair labor practices, wages, and discrimination for immigrant workers is crucial. This can decrease the rate of immigrants in companies that they feel unprotected in. As of 2021, 2 states have passed bills to shield immigrants from these risks in their workplace. With California's high percentage of immigrants, it will undoubtedly help fuel the rate of immigrants working in important fields while also protecting their rights.